Dear companions, welcome. This is the next posting about my safari into the southeast of Angola. I hope you enjoyed the previous one, and I hope you're going to enjoy this one too.
It's about the initial planning for such an expedition. Now, the first thing I want to know before I embark is, will I end up in a truly untouched part of the African wilderness? Otherwise, for me, there is really no point. Now, my previous investigations had shown that there was no guarantee, but at least there was enough evidence to say, go and have a look. So now I had to do some initial planning, which really had to do with establishing the feasibility of a vehicle safari into the area. Now, I had to depart from my base here north of Johannesburg because I had to use my own vehicle. Madala is close to 40 years old, but no other vehicle that I know of is as reliable and tough, and above all repairable in the bush by myself. I also had to load the vehicle myself with my own equipment. I simply could not discover when I got into trouble in the bush I was short of certain items of equipment. So the next question was, can I get into the area? I could establish that there were good roads all the way through Botswana and into the Caprivi and up to the Angolan border. But from there it became a little bit murky. There seemed to be a crossing at Rundu in the Caprivi, but that meant I had to go a long way west, away from where I actually wanted to be, and double back. That would add another 2 days to my journey. There seemed to be possible crossings at a place called Mukuso and possibly south of a place called Jamba, but I wasn't sure if those crossings were operational. I'd have to find out when I got into the area. Fortunately, there seemed to be good bridges to cross all the major rivers. At Kalai across the Okavango and at Diriko across the Kwitu River, if I entered at Rundu, and at Divundu inside the Caprivi across the Okavango River, and then I would enter Angola at Mukuso or south of Jamba. The bottom line was that it added up to a road journey of between 4 and 5 days. But African roads are, until you get to them, an unknown. Sometimes a road that is shown as a major road on a map turns out to be a mere sand track that slows you down to 20 kilometers an hour or less, and that could add more time. The total traveling time could therefore be up to 12 days, and to make the journey worthwhile, I would have to spend, well, let's say 14 days in the bush proper. That meant an absence from the farm of between 26 to 30 days. And that worried me because I would have to leave Nanelle here alone to cope with the whole situation. And I tested her on the idea, and as I expected, she said, no problem, I will be fine, you have to go. I wasn't quite convinced, but I plodded on. And the next question was petrol and water. I knew that the situation inside Angola was completely unreliable, but I could fill up in the Caprivi close to the border, and I could carry about 320 liters of petrol. And water, I could carry about 180 liters, and I would probably somewhere in the bush find open water where I could replenish. So that seemed to be reasonable. So, except for the long travel through the modern and the middle worlds and the extended absence from the farm, the expedition seemed entirely feasible. And I could actually now proceed to more detailed planning. It's not very exciting at this stage yet, but I thought it's important that you get an idea of what goes into an expedition like this.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you'll join me again next week. Goodbye.